Hey, what is up, awesome people? Shady Wags here. I hope you're doing well. Many people have commented on the bunker video and sent me messages asking how did I get such straight lines, or how did I make that perfectly rectangular room, because they've tried and they just couldn't get the ground level enough. Well, the answer is you might or you might not be able to. It's going to depend on a couple things. One of them is your location. If we look at the ground, it's made up of polygons, and in order to level that surface, we use the flatten tool. That tool then takes a sample of the polygons and it attempts to reconfigure them into a flatter surface by flipping and moving the polygons around. As the pieces begin to fit together, the polygons begin getting larger and larger until everything effortlessly flips or snaps onto that large flat polygon. You can flatten the surface anywhere. It's just a matter of solving the puzzle of the polygons, but just because the surface is perfectly flat and smooth does not mean its orientation in regards to your movement and the placement of objects is going to be flat. Most of the time, it's going to be at an angle. Now, the following information is not fact. It is a deduction on my part. I believe there is only 6 areas that you can create perfectly flat walls, floors, and ceilings that are not at an angle. And those spots are on the north and south poles of the planet, and 4 spots on the equator line. Now, what we know to be fact is that we are playing on an orb, and we have determined that this is truly a 3-dimensional orb, as you can tunnel from one side to the other. This is our perceived playing surface or map, but it's not the actual entire playing surface. The entire surface, which can be manipulated, is a much larger area. I believe that it's a square. It may not be. I can't confirm this, but it is in fact a polygonal shape. For now though, we're just going to assume that it is a square. So this entire playing surface looked like this if every polygon was filled in, but it's not completely filled in. It's blown out, and we're left with an orb floating inside a much larger playing area. The larger playing area is also made up of polygons, and if we placed it into a grid, it could look like this, with our planet in the middle sitting inside of one of those boxes. Since the orb is now inside of a box, it touches the box in 6 spots. And those are the 6 spots you're going to get perfectly flat, unangled lines. When you first begin a game of Astroneer, in all my experiences, I was always placed on one of the 4 spots on the equator line. Now, you may be questioning me saying, this is not a box. We're playing on this orb. You see the sky, you see the sun, and you see the other planets. This is not a confined area. I'm going to prove to you that this is in fact a map with very specific boundaries. From that first beginning area, I started building a flat road and continued flattening it as far as it would go. As the orb begins to curve, the road will stay flat and lift off the orb and continue in a perfectly straight line. This straight line will fall on an angle and it'll become so steep it's difficult to navigate, but eventually it hits the top of the map and you cannot proceed any further or terraform past that line. And in attempting to terraform above is going to reveal that there are boundaries above you as well. So the stars and the planets, they're no more than eye candy. They're basically another orb that's circling our playing area to give the illusion of space. Now, if I went back to the very bottom and I began the same experiment in the opposite direction, it's going to be the exact same results. So I kind of think this proves the theory of the 6 flat spots. The problem is finding the other 5 is not as easy as it sounds. The landing spots are not on those areas, so it's like trying to find a needle in a haystack. At least on Terran, you do have some clue where to look, but on other planets, it's a shot in the dark. Another way you can sometimes force a flat area, and I've been able to do this twice. It doesn't always work though. If you find an area where you have 2 lines coming together in a V, if you place the habitat down into the intersection, it could potentially force those polygons into a flat area. It doesn't always work though. Other than that, due to the way that the game is designed, you are forced to work on angles. If you found this information useful, I really would appreciate it if you give me a thumbs up. Thank you for watching, and until next time, I will talk to you guys later.